Plaintiff Sylvia Rouse says the defendant is her daughter, and she's not only addicted to meth and heroin, but she admitted to Sylvia that she's done things in the past that she's ashamed of to support her addiction. Sylvia claims that her daughter overdosed and was clinically dead, so she obtained custody of her children. But Sylvia is suing her daughter today for stolen money. Defendant Angelia Kazaya says she did drugs to numb the pain, and recently she overdosed 3 times in 1 week. Angelia admits that she is ashamed of her past, but she's tired of the lifestyle and she needs help with her addiction.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Craig Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Your Honor, my daughter, when she was 13 years old, she started smoking marijuana. Today, she's a full-blown drug addict.
What type of drugs?
Heroin, meth.
Heroin and meth? She ever been rehab?
No, Your Honor.
She never felt it necessary to go to rehab?
I believe she has felt it necessary. I just don't believe that she thinks she has the strength to do it. I know she's a very strong person.
Where do you all live?
I live in Ohio, and my daughter lives in Ashland, Kentucky. It's a very known drug area.
Where all the pills come from, yeah.
Yes, sir. She's overdosed 3 times in the past month.
Overdose off what?
Heroin. There's like, no drugs are good, but they claim that there's a bad batch of heroin going around Ashland with fentanyl in it.
With fentanyl in it.
And the last time she overdosed was about a week and a half ago. She was clinically dead for 10 minutes. They said her lips was turning blue. They gave her 3 shots of Narcan and 2 shots of epinephrine to the heart, and they finally brought her back. And she admitted to me that she's done other things in the past to get her drugs that she's ashamed of. I got custody of my 4- and 5-year-old grandchildren, her kids. In January, I got custody of them. And my daughter, she said that she's realized she has a problem and she's ready to try to get help.
Ma'am, you tell me about your drug past.
Well, it started, like she said, when I was 13, and it started with smoking marijuana. And from there, I realized it helped, numb the pain with things that were going on at the time.
What was that?
Well, it was my mom. She ended up getting in a bad wreck, and my mom wasn't able to take care of us, because she was in having surgeries and getting, getting better. So she wasn't able to be around a lot. She wasn't around. So I ended up, I numbed the pain.
Okay.
So
the pain of poverty?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just helped me feel better,
because
with everything.
I want to make an observation there. There's always been a question of why there's more crime or drugs in poor communities. And you're just pointing out what sociologists, myself, and many others know. When you're living in poverty, you're living under a lot of stress, mental strain. These men and women, when they're raising children by themselves, they turn to drugs to numb the pain. So just wanted to make that observation that that's one reason that you see more drug use and therefore crime. Drugs follow crime, or crime follows drugs. And unfortunately, you have gone through that, and it's sorry to hear that. You progressed from marijuana in high school to what and when?
And then it progressed to heroin and methamphetamine. It was on my 19th birthday. My friend, my mom was watching the kids at the time for me. They were just a couple months old, and my friend said, "You want to go get, really messed up?" And I was like, "Yeah, for my birthday." So, we go over to my friend's house, and he ended up injecting me with methamphetamine and heroin, and then that's all it took to get me hooked on it. So I've been on it since then.
That one time.
That's whenever he ended up doing it, it helped me feel a lot better. I wasn't, thinking about my kids and being upset, and it just helped numb and
numb the pain of poverty. Your mother says there's things you're too ashamed to mention, And I'm not asking you to, because I definitely know what was going on during the crack epidemic with women, and it is the most disturbing things you could ever imagine. So, I'm not going to even ask you that, but how did you typically finance your heroin addiction?
Well, I ended up slinging or selling dope or helping somebody else to do it, and that's how I got
crime.
killed.
Yeah, got addicted, turned to crime. Tell me about these overdoses.
Well,
It's troubling.
Yeah, I ended up overdosing 3 times in a week.
In a week?
Yeah.
That's the fentanyl, you think?
It was every time. I ended up snorting a little bit this most recent time I overdosed. And it was this guy I didn't know. I met him, I known him 2 months. And he told me it wasn't fentanyl, so I snorted quite a bit. And that's whenever I ended up, overdosing, and he ended up leaving me actually there. And if it wasn't for his brother finding me upstairs, I wouldn't be here at all. And it was a terrible feeling waking up in the hospital after I overdosed and being there alone and thinking about, my kids if I was to die. My mom having to explain it to my 4- and 5-year-old that Mommy's not coming back.
Your Honor, she's been with me the past week. She hasn't been back to Ashland.
Good. And
I've been clean ever
going
since.
through any withdrawals?
Yeah, badly. But it's worth it. I want my kids back. I'm tired of this life. It's terrible. I just don't want to do it anymore.
And they love her so much. And I was in a bad wreck in 2002, so I'm not as able to do things like I need to. She's overdosed 3 times in the past month.
Overdose off what?
Heroin. There's no drugs are good, but they claim that there's a bad batch of heroin going around Ashland with fentanyl.
With fentanyl in it.
Plaintiff Sylvia Rouse says her daughter is not only addicted to meth and heroin, but she's done shameful things to get drugs, and she's recently overdosed 3 times.
I know 2 families very, very close to me who went through that and gave up their kids. The most immediate family member, their mother was a crack addict and delivered the child right there in the crack house. Had 8 children, all taken from her. And my best friend, my very best lifelong friend, he had to raise 4 children alone, 2 girls, 2 boys. Now he's raising 2 of his grandchildren. My immediate family member searched their mother down and wanted to meet her, and guess how we were able to find her? And this is on everything precious to me. This is the truth. It's gonna sound supernatural, but the way we found out, she came before me.
Wow.
I was a judge in Detroit for drugs, and I sentenced her to rehab. And ma'am, hopefully you will allow us to support you by placing you in rehab. Are you going to allow us to do that here at the show?
Yes, sir.
All right, and let me tell you what the first thing they're going to tell you there. First thing they're going to tell you is the #1 sign that you're really interested in recovering is truth. So we're going to get into this case. She's alleging you stole her money.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully you'll be honest.
Yep.
Let me hear.
Your Honor, I was locked up in May.
You were what?
I was locked up in jail in May for
What
about
you
2
locked up
weeks.
for? And where were the kids? What?
My daughter was living with me at the time, and the reason I was locked up is because my ex abused me physically and mentally, and he fraudulently wrote a check out in my name. Anyway, I got locked up for not paying the last $700. So I was in a bad wreck and I was on disability, and when my money came in, I was going to use the rest of that amount to get myself out. Well, she got my card, and when I got out, I told my daughter to give me my card, And she did, and she said she bought some groceries and diapers for the kids for the house and stuff while I was gone. And I ended up finding out that there was $866 missing on it, and I didn't see any evidence of.
When you spoke with her about it, what did she say?
She didn't admit to me about using the money for the drugs or anything. She claimed she bought food for the house, and she promised me, she wrote a promissory note and promised me that she would pay me the money back.
You have an agreement there?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Ma'am?
It is true. I know I did use the card, but it was for, like she said, it was for, my kids. And, at the time I didn't have a job or anything. So I did use the card to, get them diapers and food and all that.
Over what period of time did it cost $866 for diapers?
2 weeks.
Yeah, it was 2
It
weeks.
cost that much for diapers?
No, not just diapers. I mean, it was just everything that they needed.
Everything like what? $866. Let's go over it. Diapers. What else?
Okay, food. I mean, it wasn't just for them. It was for me and my boyfriend at the time.
Diapers and food. That's all I have right now.
Yeah, I mean, just the necessity.
So diapers and food for 2 weeks cost $866. No wonder you broke.
No, it was
You're
for
going to the
everything.
wrong stores. If I am to believe this, ma'am, your stress and poverty is because you're going to the wrong store. $866 for diapers and food for only a 2-week period. Ma'am, please.
I did use some of that for drugs. I mean.
What?
I did use some of that for drugs.
There you go. Now you're ready to recover. That's your first step. There you go. All right, $866. She has made her first step toward recovery, and I'm happy that you brought her here. And I applaud you for admitting that you need it and admitting that you'll go. So, all right, good luck to you. Have a good day.
I'm gonna go get help immediately after we leave here. I just want my life back and my kids, and I feel terrible for the way I've done my mom, and that's all gonna change.
Yeah, and I'm happy that she's going to go to rehab. I don't want to be worried and have to tell the babies that something's happened to her, and I'm proud of her. She's strong and she can do this. She's got young and she has her whole life ahead of her.
After the case, Judge Mathis sent defendant Angelia Kazaya to rehab for 30 days. Here she is now.
Hi, it's me, Angelia. Since the Judge Mathis show, I'm doing really well. I've been clean about 3 years now. I have custody back of my son. I'm getting my custody back of my daughter, and I also just had a little boy. I'm doing really well. The Judge Mathis show helped me so much, helped me realize, I had a problem. And I appreciate it so much. Thank you, guys.